Good morning, welcome to Tristar Digging. I appreciate you joining us today. We've got a pretty cool little interesting video today. You notice in the past I was having issues with a particular machine attachment that I had. So I had a fellow reach out to me. He saw that video, the issue I was having that attachment. And he said, hey, I tell you what, I'm working for Mongo Attachments and I've got a machine that you want to take a look at. And I said, well, you just bring it on down, we'll take a look at it. And I said, what else do you have? And he said, well, we've got a full line of attachments. I said, do you happen to have a tilt bucket? He said, yeah, I've got a tilt bucket too. So we're gonna take a look at this stuff. He just arrived, got this stuff on the truck. We're gonna introduce him to you. And then as we get this equipment out of the truck, we'll bring it over here, put it in the barn, talk a little bit about each specific piece of equipment, talk about the specs on it, and then we're going to put this stuff to use. He said it'll handle some good material. We're going to try it out. So this is Jeremy with Mongo Attachments, and you're just going to kind of introduce yourself a little bit and tell us what you do and where you're from.
I live east of Richmond, Virginia, and I'm with Mongo Attachments. I'm Southeast sales rep. I've been with them for a little under a year. 20 years as a technician prior to this, so when I tell you something about the technical stuff, I'm on it. I promise you that.
Pretty well squared away.
We brought a high inertia head out here. It's our hybrid mulcher. So it's a mix between a rotary cutter and a mulcher. So you can still mow grass and cut up 4-inch material, but we're going to discuss that more in depth once we get it off the truck. And then I brought a 42-inch tilt bucket. Kind of unique with us, we run bolt-on cutting edges, which everybody does, and we run dual cylinders, but we also have a backside cutting edge that's welded on, so you use the heel of the bucket. Oh, that's a good idea. And then y'all remember old Mike Miller from previous videos, and Mike's here to, what are you here for?
I'm the safety efficiency consultant for Tristar Diggin.
In other words, he's just here being nosy. I did call Mike and say, hey Mike, got Mongo Attachments coming and they're bringing some stuff. Do you want to come check it out? And he said, yeah, I think I do. So we'll get this off the truck and get it over here in the barn and we'll uncrate it. That's one thing I want to mention is what Jeremy told me, and I will talk about that right now right quick. But what he said was he was going to bring it as it would be shipped to you. So this high inertia mulcher comes crated just like this. This is exactly the way it'll be shipped to.
Wrapped in plastic. It's the only thing we took off.
It was wrapped in plastic and we took that off. And then also this tilt bucket is also on a pallet and it's strapped down as well. That's enough yapping. Let's get this thing off the truck and see what this thing's about. All right, we are going to get this thing unloaded. And Jeremy said when he pulled in here, he said, "This is a brand new truck." I don't even need to say nothing. I shouldn't say this is a brand new truck, but I just did. There we go. Did it lock in?
Yeah.
All right, we're locked in there, that front tab, real easily. I want to pick that thing up so it don't swing. All right, I'm out of the truck. we're at least got that much going for us. Now we want to ease this thing back out of here. Mike, I should have let you unload this so you'd be you'd be responsible. All right, we got that one out. We'll take it over here and set it down and come back and get that tilt bucket. So when I was getting ready to I was taking my bucket off there a minute ago, got a couple of smart alecks here that's talking about Jeremy and Mike is giving me a hard time about my manual quick coupler here, and I can see why, because now look, I got grease all over me. Mike said I can sit in the cab and take mine off and on. More than one way to skin a cat. Now I gotta get the grease off my hands. We can talk about it being
It was a new truck.
We can talk about it being a new truck once we get all this off. All right, we're gonna change gears here, bring the skid steer in, and see if we can get that pallet pulled out of there. All right, here we go. Jeremy's up there in the front of the truck where he's safe. Mike's over here to the side. So it's just me and this truck now. I'll pick it up just a tad, maybe to take some weight off that truck as far as scratching it up. It's got a bed liner in it, so that's probably not too bad. I got to get it up over to that. All right, that ought to be good right there. Bad part about this is I can't see anything, so they're gonna have to guide me. I can see almost nothing when it's down to that height, so you'll have to kind of guide me in.
Yeah.
What?
That's what I'd say too.
All right, he says we got it. Let's pick it up and get it off the back of this truck. Here we go. Let's get it over here where the other attachment is. You just keep digging your hole deeper. All right, now we can talk about this brand new shiny truck. Let's look at this thing, Jeremy. What is this?
It's 2017.
That's a 2017 Duramax 3500 heavy duty. That's a nice truck. How'd you get that truck? How'd you luck up and get that?
My other truck I had was giving issues, so we decided to get this one.
Yeah.
After looking around, that was the best deal we could get.
Yep, well, that's a nice one. And then while we was unloading out there, here old smart aleck Mike, he had something smart to say. So tell us what it was you said again.
I think Sam owns a dump truck.
No, you blamed this on Jeremy. You said Jeremy said this.
Well, I did
So
say...
he got a dump truck. He can haul rock. Look at these. And he didn't show the back of the truck where it's got muddy footprints in it now.
I got mud on my face. I mean, look at this. Come on now.
All right, it's just like I mentioned in a previous video, is rock costs money, and if you haven't figured it out just yet, I'm a bit stingy. So
It's called tightwad.
Well, Mike says tightwad. That might be it. All right, now that we are off the truck safely, we're over here now to where we can start talking about the attachments. And Jeremy showed me, you know, it's never too late to learn something, and sometimes I learn something every day. But I did learn something today. Jeremy, I said, I'm gonna go get some wire cutters, get these straps off this. He said, no, you don't need that, let me show you. So this is a pretty neat trick.
Take 2 crescent wrenches, because you're gonna have them anyways for hooking hoses up. One side. Of course, I can't do it on the other side. And I failed.
Oh, you messed up. Oh, you messed up.
Man.
He did that other one first try. There you go. Now then, we got both those bands cut off. I thought that's a pretty neat trick, but the only thing about that is, my plan, I was just gonna have one pair of wire cutters. You gotta go get 2 crescent wrenches.
I gotta have the crescent wrenches to put the hoses in.
Yeah.
That's a good point. So that is a good point. So with this machine, you also, and I thought that was a really cool thing, is it also comes with hoses and also comes with the quick couplers. And one thing Jeremy made mention of is that when, now this, he's gonna talk more about it, but this doesn't have to have a case drain. But because my machine already has a case drain on it, he went ahead and brought a hose for it. And then what they do is they send a male and a female quick connect coupler so that you've got the right coupler to hook it up to your machine, because they never know what might be on the machine as far as the male or female. So with those hoses, he's got them over here. We're going to get those hooked up to the attachment. We'll get the Cat 304 hooked up to the attachment, and then we'll be able to get that thing spinning. Do you want to go ahead and talk about some of the specs on this this attachment?
So what we got today is we do have the 27-inch Mongo high inertia hybrid mulcher. So this is a great in between a rotary cutter and a forestry mulcher. So this will mow grass and it'll handle up to 4-inch material.
Okay.
Great intermediate piece for somebody who's not sure if they want to get into mulching, or if they're a municipality that wants to maintain roadsides, stuff like that.
Okay.
Cut back on you know, expense of having people out there and safety.
Right.
You know, safety's a big issue for everybody nowadays.
Right.
Farmers, these are great for farmers for keeping field edges
Yep.
clean back.
Yep. It's a really good attachment for especially putting on a excavator like that. Attachments on skid steers are good because you get into places and can handle some really big material. But the beauty of these mowers on whether it's a mulcher or a flail mower or a hybrid like this, the beauty of that is you can do tops of fence lines, you can reach across fence lines, you can do pond edges, pond banks, and reach up high into trees and get that done. So I like the versatility of a mower like this on the excavator. Now, mowers on and mulchers and things on skid steers, they have their place too, don't get me wrong. But we'll get this thing hooked up here and then we'll see how this thing spins around. We've got an area back here, I'm gonna say somewhat ready for a demo, and then we'll talk about that when we get back there. Hooked up here, and you know, I just thought about something, Mike, while I was standing here watching y'all. That's one reason why you're here.
It usually is. If you look at any of the other videos, if any work gets done, it has to be somebody else.
Mike, you ain't got that hooked up yet?
Well, I'm working on it.
These people are ready.
Remember, safety and efficiency is my title.
These folks are ready to see this thing turn, and you're just dilly-dallying
I
around.
know. Well, I didn't bring my tool truck, so.
We've got it hooked up now, and let me see those wrenches just a minute there, Jeremy. Thank you, Jeremy. Those are nice wrenches, and I just noticed how lightweight those are. And yeah, we've already got it hooked up, so there ain't no need of him having them anymore. What'd you say, Mike?
I said, let me point out something talking about Jeremy's wrenches disappearing.
Yeah.
Look back to the, I think it was the septic tank job that we done. This shackle ended up on Sam's machine. And
That shackle right there?
That shackle right here came from MME site prep truck.
That's because I had to put up with you all day. I get ready to hook this up, and Mike said no pressure, just people watching you. Mike, listen, that's how I work best under pressure. Somewhere I got some gloves. I have some gloves. Oh, so don't get grease on me.
Control.
Did I mention that I do that from the cab on my machine?
Yeah, you have said that like 5 or 6 times. I like to work for I like to work harder, not smarter.
One of my jobs today as the safety and efficiency expert is to make sure no tripods get damaged in the filming today. So.
How efficient is this?
Not.
You're saying this ain't an efficient way to...
Which is why I mentioned earlier that I can do this from my cab.
Oh, there's always somebody smart in the crowd. You made that look too easy. You're gonna have to struggle, make it look like you're struggling hooking that up or something.
Yeah, this is
There you go. The struggle's real now. I thought I released the pressure. There you go. Them big old arms on that fella.
Yeah, he's done this before. It'd be nice if he had some gloves. His hands dirty.
Here's some gloves.
I don't think they'll fit my hands.
Now that we've got the Mongo attachment hooked up to the Cat 304 now, and something I want to mention, it's a really good point, is that not only do they send out the hoses for the attachment itself, but they also send out the coupler. And what I mean by the coupler is this plate right here with these ears and the pins that are specifically for this machine. And I was just asking Jeremy there, we're talking about that, and they do send out that coupler along with the hoses. Now, each machine is different, right? So they need to know what size coupler to make for you and the size and the length of the hoses. So Jeremy, how do you make sure that you get the right hose length and the right coupler on there?
Well, we got a worksheet that we send out. It's a 2-page worksheet, and it'll tell you that we need to measure pin diameter, and you need to measure center to center, and then you need the width between the ears. And then the measurement we like to get is from the face of the couplers to the pivot pin.
Yeah.
Once we get those key pieces of information, then we're able to put together and manufacture the bracket to fit your machine properly. there is a lot of overlap on the brackets, so it is convenient for us. We're able to keep a lot of brackets in stock. And then you have brands like Kubota and anybody running a Wainroy or a Bobcat Exchange, we carry those brackets in stock, so we're able to get those done really quick.
And you said y'all actually have a plasma table that cuts out the ears for make those in-house. Now that we got the machine picked up off the ground, we can look at under the belly of this thing, and something I've noticed, this is a lot different system than I've seen before with these teeth, the way that they're fixed on there. I'm not even going to try to tell you how this works. That's why Jeremy's here. So what is this about?
So this is what kind of stands us apart from a traditional flail mower setup. On a traditional flail mower, you just have this basic drum. And so when you're running and you're mowing and you hit something, the teeth come back, hit, and then you start to lose your inertia and your rotating force.
Right.
That's why we call this the high inertia mulcher, because as you hit something with this crankshaft design, your teeth can spin 360 degrees around.
Wow, so it doesn't just come back so far and hit something and comes back, it actually spins all the way around.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
And then that gives you almost like a bite limiter setup here. So it makes it very similar to a mulcher. These are knife edge hammer. I think they're 14 ounces or something like, I can't remember right off. Yeah, but they're nice. Sharpenable. You sharpen them. I typically use a 40 grit flat disc on a battery powered grinder, and within 5 to 10 minutes you can have this thing tuned up where you're mowing just like a brand new one.
Now these are wire parts, so those pins are replaceable if they start getting a good bit of wear on them. That tooth starts flopping around, you just replace the pins.
Correct.
Yep.
And we Mongo does a real good job. We stock all these parts in Indiana. We can ship this stuff out same day when you call, and we can get it right out the door, because here at Mongo we're all about customer service and answering the phone and handling issues.
Yep. yeah. There's a lot to be said about that. We'll leave that for another video. But what about as far as balancing? You guys already make sure this is balanced and in tune to make sure there's no vibration.
Right. And as long as you don't have to drastically take a lot off of one tooth in particular, it stays very well in balance. I mean, you see the weights that are added to the drum.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Around. So the drum is very well balanced, and you'll find that when we turn this thing on.
Yeah.
It's quiet and it's smooth.
Okay. All right, there's nothing left to do but to do it. Let's get this thing fired up, and we'll watch it spin here just for a minute, and we're going to let Mike hold the camera up real close. Mike has volunteered to get his hand real close up there and get y'all some close-ups to it. And then we're going to move back here to this. I'm going to call where we're going to do some mulching. This is going to be, even though it's here at my place behind the barn here, it's a real-world environment because I don't know what else back there.
You may get to try out that concept of the being able to spin all the way around.
Yeah, Jeremy, we're probably going to be able to test that 360 spin deal.
Yep.
One thing I did want to mention also is I need to do that now is that it does need to be switched from two-way work to one-way, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is we're using this off of the thumb circuit that works the thumb. So what happens with this type of system here is that thumb works both ways, right? So what we've got to do is make this one-way flow, and there's a valve in here that we're going to change that will allow this drum to turn one direction. If you hit the wheel to go the other way, it won't, because it's restricted. So that valve is right here, and you just simply bump that thing down, kinda. This one is a little bit hard to do for some reason, but now then it's in one-way flow versus two-way flow. That takes care of that. Wow, that is quiet. I don't even hear it. Is it running? All right, there we go. We're full speed, and I've got no continuous flow. We'll pick it up. You can see underneath it there. And that thing is really quiet. All right, let's get over here into the woods and see what we can do. We're up here now getting ready to start into this brush line right here. And this is where I keep all my attachments and junk parts and spare parts. And you can see I've got them all dug out of the woods here. They're scattered all over the place. Some of this junk I'm going to try to send home with Mike. I don't know if that's going to be successful or not. No, you ain't getting the good stuff. You're getting the junk. But anyway, I've been looking for motivation really to get that wood line, get all this stuff dug out of the wood line and get that cleaned up. So this is a motivation that I needed to do that. And then what I said about real world example, Mike was responsible for going through there and making sure that we didn't have any loose stuff in there, any metal or whatever. So if we hit something, it's Mike's fault.
There may or may not be some yard box teeth in there, I was told.
Yeah, that's a good point. Getting ready to start this machine here in these trees, this brush line here. Jeremy was just giving me a tutorial there, I guess you would call it, on the machine work cuts best from right to left. He said you can use it both ways, and then smart aleck here, he said it's this hand right here, this is your right. Wow, wow. And I invited him here.
You knew the punishment you were going to get.
Yeah, wow. Mike, it'd be good for you to come stand about right in there somewhere. Safety first. I've noticed already running this machine, it's really smooth, even though that's turning at a pretty high RPM. It's not robbing any power from the boom and the stick and the movement of the machine, which I like that. Thing you noticed there as I was just doing that is that I had that, let me do it again. I've got the boom and the stick all the way up in the air over the side of the front of the machine with the blade down, and I have no tipping of the machine at all, forwards. Here in a minute we'll go completely to the side and see if we got any tipping that way. Test it right here with this big old limb. No problem. Wow. That is nice. Let's work on some of these limbs right here, these pine limbs, and get those knocked down. Nice. That's a pretty good little idea of what it does, just getting started, and I mowed that back down. And what I really liked about it, when you come in here to these limbs and clip those limbs, it knocks those down. And then I'm going to kind of put it to the test right here. This is probably 4-inch material right here, I suppose, down to where this trunk is. So I'm going to come up here and eat this thing down and see how quickly and efficiently it cuts that back down to where it almost gets too big to cut, I suppose. Jeremy asked me what the first impression was, and I think I was grinning. I think I had a pretty good smile on my face. That thing is running nice. All right, we're going to chew this big old limb up here and see how this does. Doing a pretty good job. Sounds like we got our first casualty. Yep, we got a little wire in there. Mike, I got one question. Why'd you do that? Why'd you get in that wire?
Got into the unknown zone.
Is it hot?
Oh yeah, she's hot.
I got some gloves right here.
Only on the outside though.
Here you go. We got our first casualty. I knew this is going to be a real world experience because there ain't supposed to be any wire in here. That looks like, actually that looks like a tomato cage is what that is. I was looking for that last spring.
How you gonna plant tomatoes this
Now,
year?
no wonder my tomatoes fell over. But as far as this goes right here, this is part of the world of running a flail mower, a hybrid like this, or a mulcher. This right here is going to happen, no doubt about it. Fortunately, this one wasn't too bad. Okay, we got all that mess out of there now, and I fired Mike. Mike's done. You're fired. I do want to get your impression on it before I officially fire you. What's your thoughts on it?
I like it. It seems like it's got plenty of power. I'm really impressed with the way the teeth have that 360 rotation if you do hit something hard with it. I mean, what little bit I run it right here done real good. Cleans up well when you got it down there mulching everything up. So impressed.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with it too.
Yeah.
Done a good job. Jeremy, you got any thoughts on it?
I just think that I just wanted to come out here and let y'all have a chance at it, see what y'all's thoughts were of this unit. You know what you have, and
Yep.
you know, we didn't break.
That is a positive. We didn't break anything, but we are quitting early. There's always a chance. But let's take a look at what we did as far as cutting and get an idea how well it cleaned up the ground. This is that limb that I mentioned about was kind of running out parallel with the ground. So I cut that thing back pretty good, and it did a good job of doing that. And then over here on this ground, we just kind of swapped the ground back and forth. Now, we didn't spend a whole lot of time trying to get every little piece. We're just basically trying to show the abilities and capabilities of the machine, and it did a pretty good job cleaning that up. But I do have one problem here. I think we're pretty much done with the mower, but I still got a lot to clean up here. I guess Mike will stay over and do that by hand. So that pretty much shows what that Mongo hybrid flail mower, what'd you call that? High speed, high inertia mower. That does a great job. But one thing I haven't told Jeremy and Mike yet is I'm out of firewood, and so while I've got some free help here today, we're gonna go cut some wood. They're laughing, but I'm serious. We are back from lunch, and I was actually expecting Mike to buy, but he pawned it off on Jeremy. So Jeremy bought us lunch. Now then, we're gonna get into some use of this tilt bucket here. Talking to Jeremy about that, it's a 42-inch wide bucket, and it'll tilt 45 degrees each way, and just as the same as the mower was using just a little while ago. This also comes with hoses, and it also comes with the ears for your machine. Jeremy's putting the hoses on now, and as I mentioned, this is a custom-made bracket here that they make and they put on this. So this attachment actually comes with this base plate here, and then they put that part on it. So we'll get these hoses hooked up and spin this thing around, and we'll give this thing a try. He got his wrenches back too. I had them in the machine. Let's get this thing spun around here and get it hooked up. Just like that, we got her on, and we'll get these hoses hooked up and get back at it. I guess what I'll do is I'll make a swale two different ways. I'll make a swale with a flat bottom with sloped sides, and then when I get a little bit past there, I think I'll make a V-ditch, and just try to make two different types of swales. I don't know. Okay. Oh, there's another one of them tomato cages. We can get it wrapped up in this thing. That's some good topsoil right there. So if I turn the flow down, it's gonna make it less jerky, ain't it?
Correct.
Yeah, that's better. So in a ditch like this, kind of what I have envisioned or in mind is that if you're going to do a rip-rap ditch, you'd have a flat bottom and then slope sides, and you put fabric in there, and then you put that rip-rap on top of it, creating a nice little swell. Obviously, it'd make it a lot deeper than this, but just for demo purposes, I'm just making it kind of shallow for now. That helped a lot slowing that thing down too. I'm going to back up, then I'm going to do just a simple little V-ditch now instead of a flat bottom. For me, the controls feel backwards, so I guess it's just as simple as switching the hoses around.
I think there's probably a way to switch it in the model.
Oh, is there really?
I think with the catch, you should be able to switch it in the model.
All right, so Jeremy, we were thinking we could probably change the settings on that inside the excavator to make that tilt different when you work the thumb. So I think it's probably just a simple thing of changing the hoses. But Jeremy had a different idea. So tell me what your idea was.
Well, with this rocker switch, if you push up, the left side goes up.
Okay.
And if you pull down, the left side goes down. So I said, just always think about the left side of the bucket. But he's right-handed, so he's not going to think that way.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work. All right, here we go. Let me get this dirt out of the way right here, because that's in my way. I can't see. Now then, we're just gonna make a V-ditch. Maybe, maybe.
Comes in handy.
Oh yeah, okay.
You want to keep the edge of the bucket in the center of the ditch.
Yep.
And you're trying to swing the machine and fight all that, and that's why you're getting the unevenness.
That's right.
If you swing that boom pivot sideways and
that's
you
exactly
work the
right
side of the ditch, and then you come back.
Yep, that's exactly right. I'm still getting used to that thing. Still can't get used to it. Still messing up. Yeah, that makes all the difference in the world using swing boom. Because I was having trouble, like you said, keeping the center of the ditch in the middle. All right, let's try to make it pretty now.
Make it pretty, that's where you use the heel of the bucket now.
Oh yeah, good point. Still going the wrong way. It's definitely some learning curve on using a tilt bucket, because this is the first time I've ever even tried to use one, but it is definitely a cool attachment. All right, there's my attempt at a V-ditch. Let's get Mike in here and see what Mike can do with this thing. All right, Mike, the only problem we've got here is you don't run over my tiller. That's the only thing, just don't run over my tiller.
All right, now I've got the microphone so I can tell it like it is now. He's had the microphone all day long and he's got to make all these comments. And so he made the mistake of letting me have it now. The reason he's down there getting that so close is he wants to know what a real operator can do. I'm sure he's going to edit all this out when he... This is definitely a nice attachment. Like Sam said though, it does take some getting used to.
Tomato cage over. You killed it.
That's to keep it from getting caught in the mulcher.
You killed my tomato cage. It's a good thing I ain't got the microphone, because I talk about how ugly that ditch is.
Everybody talks about filthy things. Safety man, did you call 811?
Jeremy, what was you asked the safety man there just a minute ago?
I asked him if he called 811 before he started digging a hole to China.
No, he didn't call 811. He didn't call 811 at all. We're getting a good look there at what that tilt bucket can do, and one thing I do like about it, and like I said, I've never used one before, so there's a little bit of a learning curve. I see from the wiggling of the bucket, Mike's having the same issue I am as far as wanting to roll the thumb to make it turn different directions. But it really is just as simple as changing a couple hoses under there. I think would fix that. And then, so we've just done a little demonstration here of a flat bottom swell with slope sides, and then I did another like a V-ditch, and then Mike tried to make a flat bottom swell, but I'm just going to kind of blur that out or something, I guess, in the video. But one thing I did notice about using the bucket is really smooth. At first, it was a little too fast for me because I hadn't got used to it yet. So I was able to go into the controls on the excavator there and slow down the hydraulic flow to that, and that made it a little bit more smooth for me. Now, as I get used to it, or as I may get used to it, it'll get a little faster, and you can kind of turn up the speed and be able to handle it a little bit faster than that. Mike, what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it just takes a little getting used to. That is handy.
Did you find the same thing with the roller switch?
Yeah, it was a little bit
backwards. Felt backwards.
Felt backwards. But yeah, that.
So Sam's gonna buy the 42 and Mike wants the 36 I got at the house. Is that what I'm hearing?
So Jeremy just brought up a good point there. Sam gonna buy the 42 and Mike buy the 36. I'm thinking Mike might buy the 36, but I think he ought to leave that here for y'all to see some good videos over this next coming year of Tristar Diggin trying out this Mongo tilt bucket here. That's what we need to talk about. So we're gonna go off camera here and do some negotiating, and I'm not sure I'm gonna get very far with that, but we're gonna try. All right, all in all, we've had a great day here, and as you can tell in the video, Jeremy, Mike, and I, we've had a good time and enjoyed the day. And I'll tell you right now, this is a beautiful day too. It's a little frosty and cold this morning. Sun shines out right now, and it feels really, really good. So we're ending up this video, and just want to say thank you to Jeremy for coming out and bringing this equipment and getting a chance to demo it and try it out. And I'm impressed. I really like that mower. It's doing a good job, and I would highly recommend you trying that, checking that out as an option for you if you're into that kind of work and you're doing those kind of jobs where you need a mower like that. Now this tilt bucket here, we'll talk about that in a minute. Here's the thing. Jeremy did take us out to lunch, and I did get a toboggan from him, and also I did get a Mongo hat. I'm not sure I got anything else though. No, just kidding. I'm not gonna let that tilt bucket leave here, and I've been looking to get one of those for a while, and I'm anxious to put that thing in use and try that out and see what Mongo's got to offer here. Yeah, I tell you right now, it's the first one I've seen in person, but this is a very heavy duty, a very bulky tilt bucket, and I think it's going to do a great job. One other thing I want to mention is that he also has this 2025 calendar, and I've kind of flipped through that. They have a wide range of attachments, and Jeremy can speak on that here in just a minute about all the attachments that they have. We're not going to go over every one of them, but I tell you right now, Jeremy is a guy that you can get in touch with. He sent me an email initially starting this partnership out, and every time that I've called him or texted him, he's been not Johnny on the spot, but Jeremy on the spot. He has quickly called me back, and that's one thing that I really appreciate about Jeremy is the fact that he called me back, and he wants to speak about that just for a second, about his availability.
Well, here at Mongo, we are a small business, but we know that sales will sell the first and service sells everyone after that.
Right.
That is something I've lived by. I had an old friend tell me that years ago, and I can tell you that it's true. We got our website, mongoattachments.com. My phone number, my email address is right there next to my wonderful picture.
It's also going to be on the screen.
Yeah, and you can call me anytime. I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have. All our attachments are there for you to look at. We don't have the pricing. You have to reach out to me to get that. If you search us on YouTube, you'll find our YouTube channel. We got several videos, and then we have other partners like Sam here, and you can look at it. About everything we offer there's a video out there for you to look at it.
And then just kind of quickly, what states, area of the country you cover?
I cover from New Jersey all the way down to Florida, and then Kentucky, West Virginia, Tennessee, and Alabama. So if you're anywhere in the Southeast, you get my number, 765-757-0846, and I'll be glad to help you any way I can.
All right, and that is a fact. I can attest to that and vouch for the fact that he will answer the phone. So give him a shout. Just call him up and say hi. That'd be pretty funny. So some of y'all just call him and say hello. Say thanks for coming to see Tristar Diggin and showing those attachments. Now, Mike, he's wanting me to advertise for him too. So we got the MME site prep, excavating, and tractor service. I guess you want me to wear that? Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah.
Hey, there's Mike's number too. You can call him.
That's right. Give me a call.
All right, folks, I appreciate you joining us today. We've had a good time out here for sure. You can tell that in the video. We've laughed a lot and probably laughed more off camera than we have on. So we really enjoyed it today. Hope you have too, and check out Mongo Attachments, and God bless. I appreciate you watching. Last thing here before we go, and Mike didn't have a whole lot of faith in me, but we did get this attachment put back in Jeremy's truck without any issues. No scratch marks. Oh, you got something to say?
With me and Jeremy directing him.
But something you don't see in there that you saw this morning is that tilt bucket. We're gonna hold on to that.
Like here?
Yeah, just like that.
I tell you right now, that took about 30 minutes to figure out where that hook's supposed to go. Oh, you're right.
You put the camera away too soon. Yeah.
This is my brother Daryl and my other brother Daryl. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video there. Jeremy coming by and Mike and us trying out those two pieces of equipment, that mower and then that tilt bucket. You know, I'm thinking about that tilt bucket as I'm getting ready to do the message. I was thinking about that earlier today. And you know, I know that I needed that tilt bucket. It's a missing piece of the business because it's really a good attachment to use for a lot of the things that I try to do without it. Now, have I pulled it off? Have I been successful in accomplishing it? The same thing? Yes, but it's going to be easier now that I have that bucket. So that's kind of a missing piece in the jobs that I do. So that caused me to think about, what is it that's missing in our lives? You know, the Bible tells us in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 11, that God has set eternity in the human heart. Well, what's missing in our life? Spiritually speaking, what's missing in our life if we don't know Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior is the fact that we can have the forgiveness of our sins. God's saying that He has placed eternity in our heart. That gives us an awareness and an understanding that there is something more in this life other than just you live, you work, you play, and you die. Everybody, I think, knows that there is something a little bit different. I believe that everybody knows that there's something missing in our lives, and that missing part is Jesus Christ. We know we need it, but we don't act on it. Just like that tilt bucket, I didn't act on it. I didn't make any arrangements to make that happen. Same way in our life. If we're not acting on the call of God in our life to place Jesus first and foremost in our life, then we're just putting off the inevitable of what really needs to happen in our life to completely and radically change our lives. I hope that you're a Christian. I hope that you're believing in Jesus today. I hope that this message has brought an awareness to you about what that missing part in your life might be. I'm not going to say might be. It is. It is Jesus Christ. That's what's missing in the lives of so many people today, that we need to place Him first and foremost. I hope you've done that. If you haven't, the most important decision you can ever make in your life, the most important decision you can make even before this video ends, is to realize Jesus Christ is that missing piece that can radically change your life. I hope that you consider that, and I hope that you come to a point to realize that that is the answer. That is the answer to life, and it is Jesus. Having the forgiveness of your sins, you could live eternally in heaven. We have an eternal soul, an eternal spirit, and it's going to spend somewhere eternity. So I hope you make that decision to trust Jesus Christ today. So God bless you, and I appreciate you watching.